Good afternoon. Today is the 24th of November. I do apologise for the slightly peculiar lighting conditions. It's just the time of year, I'm afraid, sometimes with this. But today we're going to be talking about something which follows up from a video I released earlier this year, when we believed that the ban on petrol and diesel cars being sold in Britain new was going to be in 2035, and as many of you already know, it's now been brought forward to 2030. So the news came out last week. I'm looking at an article here from 18th of November, but there's lots of others as well that you can look at. And this is now the case in this country. Brand new petrol and diesel vehicles that don't have any form of hybrid assistance will not be sold from 2030, in just 10 years time. There are some hybrids that are going to be allowed. I don't know exactly what. You'd have to read up on this. Probably just the plug-in ones, but in terms of new petrol and diesel cars that don't have any form of electrification, that's about it. And that is going to be it. Just see if we can do anything about this light. Now I have to put that there because it's shining right in my face. Wonderful. The thing is that Boris Johnson has said that this is going to create lots and lots of jobs. He says that it's going to cost about £4 billion to undertake this thing, but the amount of money that will be outlaid for it is actually a very small amount in comparison to what HS2, for example, is going to cost, about £100 billion. Apparently there is a broader sort of £12 billion package of public investment, but I don't know. Yeah, the money's supposed to create 250,000 jobs in parts of the UK. Yes, it's part of things like, offshore wind, hydrogen, nuclear energy. The electric car phasing out is to accelerate this transition and investing in grants to help people buy cars and electrical charging points at their homes. Now I do like electric cars. I actually have very popular videos on electric cars. The two popular most videos on electric cars on my channel are of the MG ZS EV, which is a fantastic car. Is it the best electric car on sale? Probably not, but it does cost, in the sort of mid £20,000 range, about £24,000-25,000, depending on the model and what deals are available on it. There are others as well. There's lots. You can sort of keep listing the ones that keep coming on sale all the time. There's Renault Zoes and Hyundai Ioniqs, and there's a new little Dacia that's coming on sale. So a lot of manufacturers are ready for this, and MG's just one of them. I hope that others will sort of follow. It's funny that actually we don't have manufacturers like Toyota, SsangYong, Subaru, Suzuki, all these who, are quite forward-thinking in some ways, but they don't have fully electric vehicles on sale yet, whereas, MG seem to have been at the right place at the right time, hence their phenomenal sales growth. Obviously, we haven't had a big discussion on diesels on this channel for some time. In fact, it's the very first video on the channel we don't talk about diesels. But soon, the joke might have to be that we don't talk about diesels or petrols. I really hope that doesn't happen, because, here I am sitting in my 17-year-old V6 petrol-powered Rover, and I have no intention of getting rid of this car. Absolutely none. Later on in the week, we'll be looking at the new ultra-low emission zones in Birmingham and Bath, and, we'll be looking at what effect this is going to have on owners of cars like this, because it's not as simple as you'd think. It's not like London, where it's pretty simple, actually. It's not like that at all. All different ultra-low emission zones in this country have different regulations, which is, as far as I'm concerned, bizarre and stupid. But anyway, so yes, 10-point plan: offshore wind, hydrogen, nuclear, electric vehicles, public transport, cycling and walking, jet zero and green and maritime, homes and public buildings, carbon capture, nature, innovation and finance. So they are going to actually build a new nuclear power plant, apparently, likely to be at Sizewell. I think there have been 3 Sizewell nuclear plants or something. I know there are Sizewell A and B. Is this Sizewell C or D? I don't know. Perhaps some of you who are, in that industry can tell me. But, a lot of this kind of stuff, it's all a bit sort of moot, really, because here I am, and the reason I've come here today is that this is the local leisure centre in Eastleigh. It's very nice, it's very modern. Obviously, at the moment it's closed because we're on lockdown, but there are no electrical car charging stations in this car park. I can't find any. It's bizarre. I don't think there are any. This is quite a new centre. It was opened about 4 or 5 years ago, and there are no electrical charging points here for electric cars. That's pretty stupid. I mean, if you're going to bring out news like this, surely a council operated leisure centre that's quite new should have more electrical charging points. This is the big problem with electric cars. A lot of them are fantastic, and they just seem to get better and better all the time. I'm not saying that I'm going to swap our Sanyong for an electric car too soon, but I could definitely see one fitting into my life at some stage within the next 10 years, because pretty soon I'm not going to have a choice about the matter anyway. I'm going to have to consider going fully electric, I think, because we won't have a choice. But is the infrastructure actually ready? I don't know. There's a video that a lady who has a Renault Zoe, I forget her name, has got a channel which talks about ownership of a Renault Zoe, and she has released a video recently about the fact that really the charging structure is not particularly ready. You have to plan quite carefully. It's always improving. It's getting better and better every single year. And if you have a very fast charger, I remember when we went on a road trip. When I was invited to be a guest on the Planet Auto channel, who took his ZSCV on a road trip, and we found an Instavolt charger in Waterlooville, which is not too far from here, about 30 miles, and that was really, really fast. It was very expensive. It was about 35 pence per kilowatt hour or something, which is very expensive considering I think you can charge a car for maybe sort of 4, 5, 6 pence per kilowatt hour. So if you use a home charger, that is. So the prices vary, like fuel prices do sort of vary, but that's a big variation just for faster charging times. But that's what you sort of want. I mean, the issue kind of is, and I remember a lot of other people saying this. I watched a vlog on the Twin Cam channel. Ed Westby, who runs Twin Cam, was saying this, that it's just not as convenient to put an electric car on charge as it is to fill one up with petrol. It just isn't. It's I don't have to think about carefully whether or not my car will take a certain type of petrol, because there really are only 2 types of petrol on sale in this country: normal 95 octane unleaded and 98 or 99 super unleaded. I don't have to think about that much. I don't have to think about whether the nozzle will go into the fuel tank of the car, because Rover, it's a little bit tight generally, but they're all sort of the same. So it does require a huge amount of new sort of planning, new staff to be trained, new manufacturer lineups, discontinuation of things, and people in the industry are trying to encourage us to move more and more towards electrification. The top 10 best-selling cars list that I release on a monthly basis always contains more and more and more mild hybrids, normal hybrids, and plug-in hybrids, always, whether they're petrol or diesel ones. So that's it, really. We just need to know what you think about this. I think that although they're trying to create a lot of jobs, and they've got 4 or 12 billion pounds, depending on which figures you believe, to actually undertake this process of removing all new petrol and diesel cars that don't have any form of electrification from sale in 10 years. I don't know how practical this is. Much as I love electric cars, much as I love petrol cars, diesels we don't talk about on the channel, so I won't go into that. But anyway, I hope you found that video to be useful. There's obviously loads of information about there. Please don't forget to like this video and leave a comment below. Later this week we'll be looking at the ultra emission zones in Bath and Birmingham. I'm pleased to see that the lighting has improved during the course of the video, and we'll look about how that's going to affect all of us. But yes, I've got a Facebook page, facebook.com/Lloyd Vehicle Consulting, and also Instagram, instagram.com/Lloyd_vehicle_consulting. Thank you.